Hey, what's up, friend? Are you a mama who wants to stop just getting by? Maybe you're motivated to grow yourself in your motherhood, your marriage, and you want it to bear fruit. Or maybe you want to stop letting the mom guilt, the shame, the limiting beliefs, and lies. Amen. That's me right there, sister. And start stepping into the woman and the truth that God has created you to be. While we're juggling all the things, right? Nursing a baby, battling laundry, trying to keep it together, and a spicy marriage. But where the heck do we start? Hey friend, you are in the right place. I am here to hold your hand through this journey because I believe when you're ready to take control of your life, beat the limiting excuses, and step into the woman God created you to be, you can not only survive, but you can thrive. But you're gonna have to show up for yourself. It's time for me to tough love your way through taking self-care seriously, investing and growing in your marriage, and owning your motherhood, and getting rid of those excuses because the glory is in the journey. It's in the mess. In this podcast, you'll find navigating mom guilt, mindset, and marriage strategies, and everything in between, with no fluff and lots of fun. Let's go. Hey, sister from another mister. I was actually confused about which mister exactly I came from, which I've now figured out, but I digress. Welcome to the So She Grows podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Today I am going to be spitting some fire into your life, under your seat, giving you the pep talk you really needed to hear today. So stay tuned. Let's go. Hey guys, real quick, I wanted to share with you our favorite shampoo that I use and my daughter uses because I believe in its raw, vegan, handcrafted ingredients, and I believe that you truly are what you put on and what you put in your body. It is super important. As a person with an autoimmune disease, I know the facts are there when it comes to how impactful all the things that we are consuming are to our bodies. And so we use Moroccan Method in our home as a amazing source of soaps and shampoos for our bodies, especially my littles, because I really want to be careful what I am putting on and in their body, and I don't want them to be exposed to chemicals and toxins and ingredients that I can't even pronounce. So I use Moroccan Method, and I wanted to share with you because it was highly impactful for my baby comeback. You know what I'm saying? Like when I had postpartum hair loss, I used that to help me get the regrowth that I needed to see, okay? Because it was a little scary around the hairline. Search Moroccan Method on YouTube and you'll see several videos of the fam and I sharing how we use them and why I so strongly believe in their products. Go to MoroccanMethod.com and you can use the code TheAshCarol15 for 15% off site-wide. And y'all, they have some amazing sales on all the time. So you can use that at any time with the sales and it's bomb. I promise. So go to MoroccanMethod.com. That's MorroCCO method.com and go check out their stuff. I promise you will not be sorry. And I guarantee there is no other products out there that have these ingredients in there. Essential oils, raw, pure, handcrafted, like from the earth. You could eat it almost. Products anywhere. I have yet to find it. So go check them out and I promise you'll love them. They're amazing. Okay, that's all. Okay, so my daughter came home the other day from school and she was talking about this contest that she could apply for through the PTA at her school. And so she was asking me and she was really stressed out and she was like, Mom, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to write about. And I was like, okay, well, what's the prompt? And she was like, how can I impact or change the world? And then she was just like so overwhelmed by the question. And I think that we can relate to this because as moms, we get so wrapped up in motherhood and we feel like we're just in this rat race and we've had our head down for so long that sometimes we're just sitting in the car and we're just like, what am I doing? What has happened to my life? And we often question, what is our purpose? What have we been doing? Are we really doing anything? How are we using our life usefully? Is it wasted? And we go on and on and on. And so when she was asking me these questions, I want to pose to you these same questions that I asked back to her. What makes you think you're not already impacting or changing the world right now? What makes you think that you have to have some specific idea of, oh, I'm going to solve world hunger, and that will mean that I'm impacting and changing the world? Or I have to solve, cure for cancer. That will mean that I'm impacting and changing the world right now. And I told her, no. As long as you stay true to who you are and who God made you, that is how you're going to impact and change the world. And mama, I'm here to tell you that as long as you stay true to who you are, your calling, and your gifts, right, which can be inside the home, outside the home, loving your babies. Like, we get this idea that it has to be something big, it has to be huge. Everybody has to know about it. We have to get an award for it. We have to be smart about it. We have to have a degree for it. We have to be skilled at something. And really, it's just existing, being yourself, being true to yourself, showing up as yourself. And that could be as little as your greatest self is gift giving to those who are in need. Like your friend who just had a baby, and you show up with the best gifts, the bottles of wine, the iced pads, all the meals for days, right? And you are impacting her life because she can show up as a better mom for her kiddo, which then has a ripple effect that her kiddo is well nourished and loved, and it's welcomed into a place of peace, and mama feels good, and she doesn't have to worry about dinner, and she can focus on the baby, right? Everything that we do has a ripple effect, even at the littlest points of impact, okay? Like, you guys know, and it's happened to probably some of you, where you're in the Starbucks line and somebody in front of you bought your drink. And what do? Because they've done something that impacts your day, like, it's so small, right? Like, they bought you a coffee. It was $5. And it was a coffee, right? But yet it made you feel probably appreciated. It made you feel seen, and it made you feel special. It made you feel loved. It made you feel happy, right? Because of that, you went out and you did something nice for somebody else. You probably bought the coffee for the car behind you. You probably were more likely to open the door for somebody who possibly had a rough day, and now you made that person feel seen and feel valued and appreciated, right? And that impacts the world. Like, what if your moment of kindness, which is the littlest gift that we can give to our world, the littlest way of showing up as our best self, like the way that we can be kind to somebody else in our own unique ways, helps somebody who impacts the world greatly. Like, we don't have to be the mode of transportation. No, we have to be the people that are used, and God, it comes through us, right? Like, we're just like the car, right? God's using the steering wheel, and he's getting us to the point that we need to go. And he's like, here, you need to show up here. And he puts us in the right places at the right time. Like, sometimes we're just I remember when I was in Target one time, and there was a mom who I could hear walking the aisles, and her kid was screaming. And I've been in this position too with multiple kids trying to do Target, where one is having a meltdown, one can't stay with you. Hello, ADHD, right? Like, and you're just like, wait, like, one's running this way because I have a toddler, running down the aisle this way. My other one can't stay with me because he's getting distracted. My other one is like legit, what is it? Literally trying to shop for something specific, right? And I'm like all over the place, right? And so I hear her in the aisle. Her kid is screaming. She has all of her kiddos with her. And I was like, hey, can I sit with you for a second? Like, while you nurse your baby? I'll chase your other kiddos around. And I do it too. I get all in my head about, what am I doing? Am I even impacting the world? Like, do I even have a purpose? And you guys, sometimes we overlook our biggest callings, and it's right in our home. It's right in our communities. It's right in our families. It's right in our schools, right? And so I think that we just think it has to be this huge thing, and then we get lost of this feeling of wanting more for our life, which I'm going to talk about in another episode, like why you have that feeling of stale, stagnant, like I need more from your life. But for example, I am totally questioning my purpose on this podcast, what my purpose is as to you as a listener. Like, how do I serve you? What am I giving you? Like, is it even valuable to you? Like, seriously, you guys, if you go and look at the podcast reviews, I see them and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm surprised. Like, I share the things that I've learned, and I'm giving you breadcrumbs because I am only 3 steps ahead, right? And so I'm giving breadcrumbs, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm picking up. So I can put it down for you so you can catch up, right? Because I am literally in your shoes, and I'm trying to figure this life out just as much as you are, right? So I'm like, I'm going to share what I know. I'm going to share what I'm learning, and hopefully they get something from it. And then I read some of y'all's comments, and I'm like, wow, I'm speechless about how much it helps you guys. But I was questioning that, and I was talking to a friend, and I was like, I know that what I'm saying helps people because they tell me so, but I just don't realize it when I say it, right? Like, I don't know that I'm actually impacting anybody. I don't think about the fact that I am impacting anybody, and it is insane. Like, I can't even process that, right? And so she said to me, I'm going to read it to you real quick. So I need to pull up my messages, which I am not prepared to do. So she said, okay, so she was telling me something, right? She was like speaking life into my life. And I was like, you were literally what I needed. Like, that is exactly what I needed to hear. I'm ready to go. Like, you fired me up. I believe what you're saying. I believe that about myself. Like, she spoke truth into my life. And she said, see, and if I was sitting over here, like, I don't know if she really needs me. I'm sure she already knows this. Like, her and I would have never had that conversation. And I would have never, like, had a realization about those truths. So if you're questioning your impact and the ability to change the world, it doesn't have to be big picture, right? It starts with you just showing up for somebody in the best way possible, or you giving them a meal, or you showing up for your kids. Like, you guys, we have the impact to change the world because our kids, we are literally raising world changers. Like, these people will go out into the world before us or after us and change things and impact things. And the same with our marriage, right? Our marriage has the power to move forward as a couple and change things. We can do great things together. We can do great things with our friends. We can do great things little by little, piece by piece. So today, if you're questioning your ability, or if you're impacting or changing or having a purpose in this world, sis, you do. I want to tell you, you do. And it's as little as you taking care of yourself, so that way you could show up the best way for your kids, so that way your kids can learn what taking care of themselves looks like, and then showing up for their kids in the best way possible. It can be exempling, arguing in a healthy way with your spouse, so that way your kids can see, wow, couples that are happy and functional really do argue, and then this is how we work it out. Like, that's okay, right? And you're exempling how to be a good neighbor, or how to show up for a friend that's going through a hard time, or extending a reaching hand to somebody on Facebook, like saying hi to somebody in the grocery store, holding the door open for somebody who possibly felt invisible, right? We do not know what other people are going through. And because we just show up the way we know best, and we are kind and we think of others, that is how we impact the world. Like, could you imagine if somebody was going to walk through a store and they felt invisible, and they felt like they had the worst week ever, and they felt down, and they were upset, and they felt like nobody could understand them, nobody sees them, nobody hears them, and they were invaluable, and they were, all these other things, right? And possibly considering their purpose in life, and is it even worth it? And you said something nice to them, and you looked them in their eyes, and you told them, hey, you look really awesome today. Or, hey, I don't know if you needed to hear this, but you're doing a good job. Or, hey, let me get the door for you, right? And then all of a sudden, they feel seen, and they feel valued, and they feel less invisible, and their mood is lifted a little bit more. And so therefore, instead of going home and doing something that they might regret, or continuing down this cycle of feeling invisible in this world, and like they're just another fish in the sea, right? Like, you're giving them a moment that has the opportunity to change their life. And you do that every day when you wake up, and you make those kids breakfast, you pack their lunches, you make sure that they have clothes on their bodies, you make sure that everybody has, a clean bed, a made bed, whatever it is. Like, you are meeting their needs, which enables them to go out and succeed. Now, that also means that we have to meet our own needs, so that way we can go out and be our best selves and serve the world at its best. But if you're like me, some days you get caught up in the mess of motherhood, you get caught up in the mess of life, and you have your head down for so long that you don't see what you're really capable of and what you're actually doing daily at the smallest, minuscule, point that is impacting and changing all the lives around you. And it trickles down, and it will continue to trickle down for years and years to come. And the even better part, the bonus part, is if you stay true to yourself, and hey, if you've lost yourself, that you do the work to seek yourself again, right? Whether it's you start a podcast, or you start a boutique line, or you start a program or a foundation, or you, start texting all your friends every once in a while to tell them how much you value them. Whatever it is that you are called and are gifted to do, because everybody has a calling, everybody has a gift, everybody has a special secret sauce that God made you with, okay? He did not just be like, oh, here is Ashley. I'm not really sure why I made this one, but and then he just pushes me out into the world like I have no purpose. No, God created every single human being with a purpose, and we don't know what that is yet until we take a step back and evaluate what what do I do best at? Like, I'm really good at hyping people up, lifting people up, telling you the hard truths, right? I'm really good at showing up for people. I am really good at being a loyal friend, right? Like all these things, right? It doesn't have to be like, if you're gifted in medicine, heck yeah, sis, like do your thing, right? But some of us are also gifted in huge ways that we impact the world. Y'all, this reminds me of Gary Vee, okay? Gary Vee, if you ever listen to his podcast, he's an entrepreneur, has nothing to do with this genre of what we're talking about, mom and motherhood, right? But he literally praises his mom to the high heavens. Is his mom a millionaire? No. Did she buy him a Corvette? No. Did she solve world hunger? No. You know what she did? She celebrated every time he opened a door for somebody or did something kind, like he made like the playoff touchdown winning game thing, right? That made no sense, but you know what I mean? Like she celebrated over what is that word that I'm looking for? Like overly, y'all know what I'm saying, right? Over and above, she celebrated him, and he talks about that moment every single time I've heard him on a podcast. Every time he has the opportunity to, he's like, man, what made me able to do all this, which has impacted thousands of lives, right? Because not only is he like building this great business that now he has all these employees a part of, but he's inspiring millions who go to his conferences or hear his podcast, right? His mom gave him that skill. She instilled this idea in him that it wasn't, grandiose and great if he like got A's and whatever, like that was good, but like, man, being kind was legit, and serving was legit. And so that is what made him a world changer today. And so when you step into your home, you have to realize that, hey, like you're creating little world changers, and that is how you're going to impact the world. But even more so, you have the ability as not only mom, but woman, self, whoever you are, right, to impact, because you are who God made you to be. And if you've forgotten about her, it is worth the work to go back and figure out what it is that you are good at. And you are good at something, sis. Like, don't get all in your head about it. You're good at showing up. You're good at calling. You're good at singing. You're good at serving. You're good at gifting. You're good at shopping. Like, and that serves people. Y'all, if somebody could help me figure out like my clothes on a daily basis, like that is a gift to me, because I can show up better. I can feel good about myself, right? Like I can feel sexy. I can feel great. I can feel confident, like that. And that trick that impacts my marriage, right? Because then I show up to my marriage confident. Do you all see where I'm going with this? We have the ability to impact and change the world through the things that we already have the skills to do. You do not have to be great, and you do not have to be grandiose to feel like you have a purpose and that you're significant. So if you've forgotten that, if you felt down and you felt like, man, I really don't know what I'm doing, I'm just a mom, stop right there. You are not just a mom. You are the mom shaping your world changers. You're the mom making the biggest impact in your home. You are the mom that holds the glue, that is the glue of your home, that holds it all together. And I don't want you to forget that. Hey sis, thanks for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you found it beneficial in any way, I hope that you review it. And better yet, if you found it helpful, I hope that you share it with another girlfriend of yours, because hey, it takes a village, and we are not immune to struggles on our own, right? We're all going through something, and we never know what another mom friend is going through. And lastly, if nobody has told you today, you are a kick-ass, wonderful, amazing human being. You are awesome. And I hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.